Hello everybody, Corey Mitchell here. I am in the middle of a practice session. It's a Saturday, actually Christmas Eve, December 24th, kind of a quiet afternoon before we head out. So I'm getting in a little bit of practice, and I'm using something called Forex Tester 5. It's a great way to practice your day trading or swing trading, whether you're day trading stocks, Forex, futures. You can download up to 21 years of high quality moment by moment data. So not just full 1 minute candles like how you would practice on just looking at historical charts, or TradingView has a 1 minute replay or up to a 1 minute replay, which is okay, but you still don't get to see prices forming tick by tick. So here I get to measure out this candle as it's forming. I get to precisely get my entry point. So right now, once this candle closes, potential move above it would be a trend continuation trade. So we'll see how that sets up. Make sure everything's set up. Still at about a 2 pip stop loss here, based on the size of that candle. And you can see we've already had a couple beautiful trend continuation trades. We missed that. There we go. So right in just above that candle. And yeah, I just really like this software for being able to do this. Just like in MetaTrader, you can move your stop loss and target. So as you can see, we've had really strong moves up. If we measure these out, about 12, 13 pips, was 10 pips. So I could probably even go up to a 7 or 8 pip target and still be well within what this pair is capable of the moment, moving very strongly. 8 to 1, 8 pips, that puts me at about a 4 to 1 reward to risk on that trade. And so I am trading a day in 2018, April 6, 2018. These are Eastern times along the bottom. All the data is in Eastern time. And yeah, so I get to trade this day, trade in some different market conditions than what I'm trading in currently. You can see my y-axis is scaled to about 60 pips at the moment, and that's about what the daily average movement in at this time in 2018. In 2022, where I actually am, daily movement's more 100 or a little bit higher, 100 pips a day. So this is just a little bit different conditions. So I'm just going through some days historically. You can speed this up if you want. I don't recommend it too much. It depends on what kind of issues you have. If you have issues with being able to hold through this, one little blip of a candle and you would have got out right there when it dropped, then you don't want to speed up. You want to have to navigate through and hold through those moments. So here, really strong move. I'd probably move my stop loss to even. We're well above my 2 to 1 reward to risk. So we'll see here. Oh, it hit my 8, didn't have a chance to move it. So really strong 4 to 1 trade. And that was just based on these last few that I'd taken. I left a lot of money on the table. I could have taken a little bit more. These were the 2.5 to 1 reward to risk. And just based on the movement that we were seeing, there was more movement available to potentially take. So this one captured a little bit more of it. This is very similar. If you click on orders, you can go to Forex Speed Up, and it'll give you this little window, and you can put in your stop loss target. Very similar to if you right click on MetaTrader, you can select market depth and it'll bring up a little pop-up window, and the bottom of that window you'll be able to see all the bids and offers and everything, but below that you'll be able to put in your stop loss, your target, and your lot size, and just a very quick way to be able to place trades. I also like this software because, let's say I'm not done this trading session, but let's say I only have, you go to work or whatever, so you have like half an hour to trade, or an hour to trade, or 2 hours to trade, and that's your time to trade during the day. That's when you should be practicing. So let's say I was done, then I could simply go to my next day. So I was trading April 6th, I could go to April 7th and punch in the time that I want to start trading. It's going to bump you up to that time, start trading then. And so I like trading between 8 and 10 a.m., usually around that area, 8 to 10 a.m. Eastern time, 6 to 8 my own time. That's my day trading time typically. And you can see that's about when I started here at around 8 a.m. Eastern. And so when I'm done this session and it gets up to 10 a.m., then I can just jump to the next day. What I also really like about this software is, beside giving you tick data, it also shows you where news events are. And that's really important when you're going back in history. You don't want to have to look up, was there a news announcement on April 6, 2018 or 2008, 20 years ago, or whatever day you're trading. In a few moments you'll be able to see, because there we have one at 8:30. We have non-farm payrolls. If you click on it, there, it's kind of hidden off on the corner because it's blocked off. As we progress a little bit, we'll be able to see it. I'm thinking we may have another TC here before that news comes. So I'll just wait for that. If it develops, we need to move above that red candle, this one, but this one been forming for a while, so if it forms and then we get a move above like that, then we have another TC. So we'll see. Getting a little closer to news. I don't want to be in this super long. We're about 8 minutes away from news, so I would prefer to just get out of this one. I won't go over too much more than my usual 2.5 to 1. What else can we talk about here? Indicators on here. Not a ton of indicators. I wouldn't say it's great for that, but you do have the ability to add in, install new indicators, create custom indicators. You can mark up your chart just like you would on MetaTrader or TradingView, draw in your lines. Whoa, big move. Nice, quick one. Another 2.5R. You can see, just like in MetaTrader, your order history or account history. So, just been trading a couple sessions. So yeah, on this project is deposited, $3,500. It's all fake money anyway. And I've traded, just a couple. This is a couple sessions in. You can see a nice mix of wins and losses. But overall, account increasing, which is what we like to see. And what other functions do we have here? The project. So if you start a project, and so it's usually related to a pair, so you could start a new project, type in, let's say you wanted to maybe day trade the British pound, US dollar. You type in whatever you want to call it, put your initial deposit, click next, and then you would just select the British pound as your asset for that project. You can restart projects. So as you can see, I've traded 2 days. If I restart this, it basically erases everything, takes me back, and then I can restart wherever I want. As I mentioned, you can jump to any time and just keep trading. I like that. In terms of orders, this is really nice having that. You can also change your balances to make it more reflective of what you'd actually be trading in real time. Different chart modes. Data, this is important. So anytime you can download more data, up to 21 years of historical high quality data. And anytime you want to download more data or different times, let's say you wanted to day trade a little bit during 2008, during the financial crisis, download data from 2008 and just trade it. Recommended the tick data history. Click update, it'll download the data, it'll be in your repertoire. Then you can simply go to, once it's downloaded, jump to, go to wherever you want to start trading. Also, when you go to data center, once you've downloaded some data, not the odd, the Euro USD, then you can type in your own spread. So whatever your broker offers you as your typical spread, I would put it in here because that's going to affect your trading results, and you can factor that in. So if you typically have a 1.2 pip spread, put in 12. This is fractional pips. So my spread's usually pretty tight, so I have it in at 2. If you wanted to, make it a little harder on yourself, you could put it in 3 or 4 or whatever, a little bit higher than what you actually usually have. If there's a distance, dealing desk brokers often don't let you put out orders within a pip or 2 of the current price. So if there's any sort of limits like that, if they don't let you put out orders within a pip of the current price, then you would have to put in 10 there, or 1 pip. 10 fractional pips, 1 major pip. Leverage, anything like that, you can just add it in. Super functional. And yeah, we're getting a little closer to news now. In terms of, I really like being able to go back and trade certain periods of time which were different. I'm just pulling up a chart over here. So here on matif.net, you can go back and see what did volatility look like at different times, and go back and trade sometimes in late 2019, early 2020. Daily average movement was like a lot of times 30, 40 pips a day. Way lower than what you're seeing when I'm recording this, 2022, late in the year. We've been seeing historically high volatility. So you're seeing a lot more movement than you have at other times in history. You might see this during the week. You have days where the price is stuck in like a 30 pip range all day. But then you have other days, maybe a news announcement comes out and you moved 150 pips. You need to be able to bounce back and forth between those types of conditions and trade them well. If you only see them once in a while, you're not going to trade them very well. And when you see them, it's going to take you time to adapt. But if you have software like this and you can go back and trade 30 sessions in late 2019, early 2020, when those types of dead conditions show up during your week now with real money while you're actually trading, you're going to be able to navigate those a lot better. If you go and trade 30 sessions in March, April of 2020, or back in 2008 financial crisis, when movement was huge, then you're going to know how to navigate big movement days. They're not going to bother you when one comes up. Hey, you're just going to take advantage. That's what practice is all about, is getting used to all these different types of conditions. Trade conditions where volatility was continually escalating, like in early 2022. Trade late 2020 when volatility was continually dying off. Those are all different types of conditions we want to trade. So you can go back in time and trade those types of conditions. So getting pretty close to news now. Could have even maybe taken one there. Nice, not quite as good as the others. You can see we're dying off a little bit, getting a little bit more choppy. We had these very clean zigzags, pop up, a couple candles down, moving very cleanly off these triggers. This one, yeah, pretty strong up, but kind of came back down, maybe flattening out a little bit. We'll see if these news events. It's interesting to see how news events affect prices in history too, because at different times news events take on more important or less important roles depending on what's going on in the economy. In 2022, inflation, interest rates, very high impact. Anything to do with CPI or jobs data or anything like that is moving the market a lot. And at other times, those types of data, people just don't care about them because inflation is not really a problem or not in focus. So you can see here, this news announcement should be out now, and yeah, it's a bit of a dud, we'd call it, where it didn't usually moves the market a fair bit, and no one seems to care. So just interesting from that point. In my live trading, I'm always looking at which events are moving the market, and because sometimes something that hasn't moved the market before all of a sudden is moving the market now, and I didn't really care about it before, but I definitely want to step aside now. And I've noticed that in 2022, medium impact news, that anything that has to do with like consumer sentiment, CPI, PPI, producer price index, consumer price index, even if it's ranked as a medium impact news, it's having a big impact on prices in 2022. So just being aware, anytime there's a high impact news, I'll usually step aside, but sometimes there'll be medium impact news, which also I want to step aside for. So it's just interesting to see how kind of history reacts to different news announcements. But overall, this is how you can practice, really fine-tune exactly getting your entries right with the tick data. Very important, because you can see, like, I get in right where I would be, whereas if we're just kind of looking at historical charts, we didn't get to see those little hiccups where the price was moving up in my favor, but then it came all the way back, and that could have potentially scared you out of a trade. You want to be able to practice holding through that sort of thing. Different now. I don't like this TC because we had the drop, we pushed back up, but we haven't made a new high. We're more stuck kind of between this low and this high, so that's not TC area, starting to drift more. So I really like that. I like having the news announcement. In terms of Forex Tester 5, you pay for the software, which is pretty cheap, and then you pay for a subscription to data, and they have a monthly, annual, and lifetime offer. I like the lifetime because practice should never end, and even I've been doing this 18 years now, and I still want to get in as much practice as I can, and am trying to on these days. Nice little pop there, but like I said, it wasn't quite as clean as these other patterns, so we'll see if anything else sets up. But we want to be able to continually practice, refine our methods, get better and better. And so I like the lifetime subscription. That way you just always have this data as each day comes up. It's available in here to you to trade. And I also recommend the super data with a lifetime subscription. I think that's the best value out there. You get the tick data, you get it shows you when news is coming out, and you get to watch these bars unfold bar by bar. Just way better than I think really any kind of simulation software or demo trading software out there, where you just either get 1 minute bars fully formed or daily bars fully formed. This, you get to see every movement of it. We get to practice whenever we want. I can get in multiple sessions a day, speeding it up a little bit to, a little bit more efficient. And so super data lifetime, that'd be my recommendation, but of course do what you can afford or what you like. But I like just having this set up, and I have access to the data anytime I want to trade. So I hope that's a new tool for you to use, and I'm going to get back to practicing my session.